Avengers Doomsday may not be the movie that we think it is, and the clues might have been hiding in front of us the whole time.
Say more things, Jason. Let's say them right now. Do the thing so that we can say more things.
Welcome to the cast, Backstage Banter. Okay, look, I know you are not the biggest Marvel guy, and I have been the show's Marvel head, but I'm telling you, there is some crazy stuff going on that I think that they've been hiding in plain sight, and I think people are missing it. There's a lot of theories out there, and I've not heard some of these things that I think are actually taking place in this movie.
Okay. First off, Marvel head, that's a thing. Okay, moving on.
I am dying to talk about this stuff. I don't know if you've been keeping up with this at all, but it's like
0%.
Dude.
I'm still okay. Full disclosure for the audience. I still have not seen Endgame. However, I have made a commitment.
It's been 10 years, Morgan. It's been 10 years. What are you waiting for?
I have made a commitment to this show and to Jason that by the time Doomsday comes out, I will be caught up on all of the critical components of Marvel. But
commit faster, Morgan.
Did you? I saw
it's been 10 years in the making. You still haven't even caught up to Endgame. I mean, like, what are you missing? What was the last movie you left off on?
Wait, hold on. I watched a reel of somebody going through how long it would take to watch like everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to get caught up for Doomsday. And the premise that he laid out was if you are excited for Doomsday, maybe you feel inclined to rewatch the whole thing. Well, here's how long it would take you to do that. And he was like, if you watched one movie a night, and if you watched 2 episodes a night of the series, it would take you literally like 356 days to get caught up on Marvel. So I feel like I've taken on a pretty Herculean task.
Yeah. Where are you currently at? Like, what's the last thing that you saw?
I saw Black Panther.
This is so long ago. Like, it's been more than 10 years.
I'm making an effort to get caught up. That's where I'm at. But I also think that it'll be interesting to hear your theories with my incomplete information about where we are.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably going to spoil a lot of things for you at this point. Because, like, the statute of limitations is over. If you haven't caught up by now, it is fair game.
Here's the thing, though.
Man, look, they stopped Thanos, okay? They stopped. There,
no
you're caught up.
They stopped
Let's
the bad
go.
Guy? They stopped the bad guy? That's crazy talk.
We had an episode in the beginning of the year where we talked about the most anticipated movies of 2026. Doomsday is my most anticipated. I don't think it'll be the best movie of the year, but I do think it's going to be the most fun for someone who's been honed in on this universe for as long as I have. So I'm very excited about it, and I have been dying to talk about it with you. So I am tired of waiting, Morgan. I'm tired of waiting. I'm going to tell you what I think is happening in Doomsday because it is crazy. So look.
Okay.
We're going to get into it, but before we do, maybe we should do the real news first.
Yes, I have quite a bit of real news to get into. So let's do that. Okay. So I have been so excited for today's real news segment because it has been so wild. We officially now know that Snow White is in fact a flop. It grossed.
We didn't know this before?
Well, the official UK numbers have come in and they've officially reported their earnings for the film. We now know what the budget, we have official numbers. So it grossed somewhere in the ballpark of $205.7 million at the box office, and it cost $336.5 million to make. After the UK tax credits that they got, it brought it down the overall cost to somewhere in the ballpark of 270 million. Which is significant from 330 million. Disney split the box office sales about 50-50 with the theaters. So this means that the movie roughly made $100 million, which means that they lost roughly $170 million, which is not their worst flop, but it's pretty bad.
I'm floored because I thought everyone knew that this was a flop already. I am not surprised at all that it flops. I haven't seen it, but I assume it wasn't very good.
Moving on, I feel like I'm the only one still following this saga, but this is like my reality TV at this point. The WBD acquisition war continues, Jason, and it is getting...
I saw.
It is getting spicy, though. So we talked in a previous episode about the possible pros and cons to both Netflix and Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers. Check out that episode if you're interested. We do a somewhat of a deep dive. So I'm going to talk about the update, which is that Paramount may snipe the deal from Netflix. So if you haven't been keeping up, Netflix and Warner Brothers had signed basically a formal agreement that as long as all of the legislative part of the deal works out, that Warner Brothers will sell to Netflix. So we've now had a Senate hearing, and this is essentially what happened. The Senate was concerned about the merger, and the debate turned into a very heated concern over market share, control, political agendas of the companies, both Warner Brothers and Netflix, and even Netflix's practice of offshoring production to other countries. This was all laid out in the open. Overall, the Senate felt that this deal raised a lot of legitimate antitrust concerns, but the deal is still being evaluated by the Department of Justice, and there's currently no indication about what will happen regarding the deal. Enter Paramount, who has been lobbying all kinds of different ways trying to get this deal, including a hostile takeover.
They're like the girlfriend that got broken up with and they refuse to let the bad boyfriend go. Like they're stalking his house late at night, they're keying his car, and they're just hoping that they'll scare off the new woman. This way he'll come back to her. Like they're going crazy over there.
And I think that that's like a really accurate way to describe it, but this newest offer is $30 per share, which was the original price that Warner Brothers had said, like anything below this they wouldn't entertain. So it's $30 per share in cash, which obviously is better than Netflix's current deal, which is $27.75 per share, which originally was cash and stock, but got upgraded due to pressure for the deal. Paramount has also offered an additional 25 cents per share for every quarter after December 31st that the deal doesn't close. The additional 25 cents per share would roughly come out to an additional $650 million per quarter, which is nuts. And they've also agreed to cover in its entirety the $2.8 billion termination clause in their current arrangement.
I think what's important here is there are two aspects of this. One, if either of these deals would clear the Department of Justice review. But the other part of this is what Paramount is pushing is that they are trying to claim that by taking the Netflix offer, the board is not doing their fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders by accepting the best value. Now, they have made this claim several times. The board for WB originally said, like, hey, look, we looked at it and we think that the Netflix deal, even though like the numbers shake out the way that they do, we think it's more plausible to close. That's why we think that it has more value, even though the numbers appear higher in certain ways with the Paramount deal. I mean, they're just trying to push this as part of, they really want those properties. And I get it. They have iconic properties. I've already come to terms with Netflix getting it. I can't keep doing this. My emotions, it's so emotional for me. Like all these beloved WB characters, they're gonna die. They're gonna go here. They're gonna come back here. They're gonna I can't handle it. I want this to be over. Like, can we just stop? Can we go fund me to keep WB just around on its own? Can we just do that?
So I might have some good news for you at the end of today's real news segment. But just closing out this Warner Brothers part of it, their official stance is that they are evaluating all options, but are currently sticking with the Netflix deal. This is a stark change from the outright and immediate refusal of all prior Paramount offers. So the bidding war could reignite.
I still want Comcast to swoop in and sweep WB off their feet and run away with the properties. Solely, if not for nothing else, but just this way I can get WB properties at Universal Studios, because that's my dream scenario.
That could be fun. Anyway, have you heard that Disney has sent a cease and desist letter to Seedance 2.0?
I did hear that, and
forget all about that, because that news totally overshadowed this bigger and better news. Have you heard of Hollywood Guns for Hire?
No, what is that?
Okay, so I'm sure everybody has heard about the Seedance cease and desist letter, which came out, I think it was like last Friday. But this came out the day prior, and it's so crazy. Hollywood studios have allegedly invested in a private company called Light Bar, where they will hire bounty hunters, essentially, like internet bounty hunters, to hunt down companies engaged in AI infringement and report back so that action can be taken. The company's founder, who wants to stay anonymous for obvious reasons, originally created the company originally to go after Studio Ghibli infringement, which apparently has been a huge success and has attracted the attention of Hollywood studios. The most interesting component is that Light Bar is a crowdsourced company, meaning if you were so inclined, you could get involved and be a bounty hunter in this crusade against AI and make money doing it.
How well do they pay?
Bar, I don't know. It's so wild to me.
It sounds cool. I mean, are we talking? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't imagine.
We can't imagine ourselves do that and do as the podcast. It's just us
hunting down AI infringement.
Yeah, dude, let's make a whole show. It could be like, remember that Dog the Bounty Hunter show where it's like basically a documentary of. Yeah, it took place in your backyard. It was like in Florida, I think, wasn't it? Or maybe it was Hawaii.
I'm so still new to Florida. I've only been here for a couple of years. I'm from New York.
There used to be a show called Dog the Bounty Hunter. This guy looked ridiculous. He looked like he looked as though he was like a WWF wrestler from the 80s. That's what he looked like. He was a bounty hunter. And, when someone would skip bond or skip bail, he would go find them and bring them in. And he had a whole show where cameras would just follow him around and then just drag them kicking and screaming if it needed to. I feel like we could do the whole thing, like play it up as dramatically, but just with us hunting down AI use.
It's real interesting. I mean, like, it's still early. I just got really excited about it because it's so farcical, but also like exactly what we need right now.
Yeah, something needs to be done. I mean, for anybody who didn't see that Seedance video, they have multiple videos now that they've put out where they're using the likeness, like spitting images of real life people. Like there's one of Tom Cruise and he's fighting Brad Pitt, and it's got his voice, their voices and their likeness, and they do a whole like 20-second scene, and this thing can produce very convincing images and videos for 20 seconds at a time. And you can look at this and go, oh wow, that's a really cool scene. And it is a cool scene, but it is absolutely theft. Nobody gave their permission for it. They are using all these things that they don't have the rights to. And we're just going to keep seeing more than this. And I think we've talked about AI so many times, but the theft is problematic, but also the fact that we're going to get to a spot where nobody knows what's real and what's not. I don't know. I don't want to go down the same road again, but hashtag made by humans. That I'll leave it at that.
That's been my stance about it the whole time, but yeah, we won't go down that road. But the road that we will go down, though, is Lightbar's goal. So Lightbar wants to aid in setting legal precedent. So right now, I'm sure you've all heard of the various lawsuits and cease and desist, because Disney's not the only one who's lobbied lawsuits against people. Disney has done it the most. They've done it against Midjourney, Character AI, Minimax, Google. They're suing anybody and everybody who's
which is
doing
ironic because they're the ones that made the deal with Sora to allow them to use their properties.
We're not going to get into the hypocrisy of it.
Okay.
But there are all these lawsuits that are going on, and the court system hasn't made any definitive rulings on any of it yet. They have loosely stated that AI content qualifies as infringement, but there are no penalties or consequences if you infringe upon IP holders in that way. So Lightbar is looking to push legal precedent forward and actually create a framework for what happens in these infringement cases. So Lightbar, cool company. If you want to be an internet bounty hunter, look them up.
Or if you want to sponsor our show, that's cool too. Yeah. We'll toot your horn.
This next story, I think, is pretty exciting because it involves little old ladies from Idaho.
Okay. I think you and I have very different ideas of what the word exciting means.
Hey man,
this is very exciting. It's little old ladies from Idaho.
When was the last
juggling
time,
potatoes or something?
Dude, when was the last time you heard of a little old lady being involved in anything from Idaho or anywhere? This is just wild to me. So everyone is stealing TV, which, if you've been following news about piracy, that's on the rise for very obvious reasons. The number one being cost. But Jason, let me ask you. Wouldn't you like free TV for life?
Maybe
for life, Jason.
What am I giving up for?
I feel like this is one low lifetime payment of $200. You can have everything you can think of, every TV show ever made, every movie, live events, any channel you want to watch. You could have all of that at your fingertips. All for one bundle price. What would you say?
Does the bundle include prison bars? Because I feel like there's a horrible catch coming. $200 sounds like a great deal, though, if there's no catch.
There is this sort of quote unquote loosely defined black market that is arising for semi-legal streaming TV boxes. So this is like a
semi-legal.
Okay, don't get ahead of me here. There's something called the Super Box and the VC Box. These are bootleg devices that are technically legal to purchase and own. But wait, you said semi-legal. Right, hold your horses. I'm getting there. For one payment ranging from $200 to $400, you can get one of these boxes and you will have free, permanent, and unlimited access via illegal streaming services to every channel, show, movie, and live events that are on the net. Now, for obvious reasons, media companies don't like this, and Dish Network has sued major sellers and won millions in damages thus far. However, it has apparently done very little to hamper the supply because there's just no lack of demand for these things, and you would be dumb not to continue finding ways to sell it, which makes sense.
We do not condone piracy. We do not condone piracy.
It's not piracy. They're legal to own. They're legal to own.
I'm covering our bases, Morgan.
I'm
just
just
covering our bases.
reporting the news, Jason. So, all of this makes sense because subscribing to even a handful of streaming platforms, as we all know, is legitimately impossible because it costs $1 billion, let alone cable and live TV services, which are well, until recently, those were separate. They're more and more starting to become part of streaming services, but it's egregiously expensive now. But there are risks, as Jason pointed out. There are some risks to buying one of these super boxes, or
ending
VC
up in the
boxes.
clink. Yeah.
The primary risk is more so that these are jailbroken devices, so there are security and privacy risks to hooking it up to your own private home network. I think that's the biggest risk. Another potential risk that hasn't been exploited to this point, but very well could be, is that you potentially risk being directly sued by media companies or having your internet service suspended. Because as we all know, piracy is illegal. So as Jason was saying, don't pirate. But this is a very interesting thing that is happening. And back to the beginning of the story, the main people who are reselling these boxes are little old church ladies in Idaho.
No! It's nothing sacred.
It's like wild. Like, you can get hooked up with one of these things by just heading down to your local church and just talking to the little old ladies.
That's crazy.
So anyway, I do have one little bit of good news that I would like to share before we close out this week's real news segment, which is Cartoon Network cartoons are coming to Tubi. So if you grew up in the golden age of cartoons like I did, we can all rejoice that starting March 1st, Warner Brothers will be partnering with Tubi and begin streaming old cartoons on the Tubi platform. So shows like Animaniacs, Ben 10, Scooby-Doo, Teen Titans, The Batman will all be coming to Tubi. They released a full list of what's coming on their X page. So if you don't have Tubi, get Tubi today. It's free. So there's no reason not to enjoy these cartoons.
We're also not sponsored by Tubi, but like, I mean, Morgan's waxing poetic about it. So if Tubi wants to sponsor it, I mean,
Tubi, if you want to sponsor us, I will do beautiful ads for you. But anyway, I don't have anything else for you guys. So that's what I got. Now go out and write about it.
All right. So for the record, just want to say I refuse to call it X. I still call it Twitter. It will always be Twitter to me.
Well, for legal reasons, I disown Jason.
But speaking of Twitter, you know what is very popular on Twitter these days? Besides bots and inappropriate posts and lots of other things.
Grogu.
Fan theories. Marvel fan theories. Look at that. I took it all the way back around.
Love a good fan theory.
Dots. I can transition. Look, first of all, I want you to understand the type of person that I am. Because I know we've talked about this before, and I know that you don't get how I could have been invested in this for so long, but I want you to understand. I want you to give you a peek into my mind, which is a scary place. Please, don't stay there for very long.
Please spare us the pain and agony.
You're probably familiar with Flintstones, right? The Flintstones,
like Fred Flintstone, and
yeah. You
Fruity
know,
Pebbles.
Like what about the Jetsons? You familiar with the Jetsons?
Yeah, I know the Jetsons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are both cartoons that were before my time. And I want to make that abundantly clear, because as much as I am very in tune with the fact that I am old, I am not that old that I was on when there was like peak of those shows running. But when I was a kid, for some reason, they brought them back for a special. I think it was like a television special where it was a crossover event where the Flintstones meet the Jetsons. And I thought this was an incredible thing that was happening. And I didn't even like either show. I was just excited to see
Whoa,
the two
whoa,
properties
whoa,
mix.
wait, whoa,
Mix.
wait, whoa. You don't like the Flintstones or the Jetsons?
Not really, no. They were, I don't know. They
Whoa.
just didn't do it for me.
Okay. Anyway, the internet's gonna get upset about that.
I I think you misunderstand the internet, my friend. but but I was very excited to see that crossover event because I think it's really interesting when you can make them, especially if you could do it in a way that feels like it honors both properties. And I think that that's where my
Sure.
obsession with interconnected universes began. So for something like the Marvel universe, which is much more involved than one episode of the Flintstones meet the Jetsons, I'm
Uh-huh.
hooked. I've been in this for so long. I need to know how it goes and how it finishes out. So Doomsday is coming. It's going to be
Okay.
a huge event.
He
And I
says.
think that people have it all wrong. I think that people are looking at it, trying to figure out what this story is going to be. And I think that they've been hiding clues right in front of us. I want to give you, because I don't think that you're a big comic book guy, right? Did you follow? Did you read comic books as a kid? Like, how
I
familiar are you with Marvel comics?
I mean, like, I don't have a canonical knowledge of it, but I've read Spider-Man comics and I
Okay.
read the Justice League. I was a big Archie fan, although Archie is not at all linked to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I've read comics.
Why don't we make you know how at the end of like every Marvel movie it says like whoever's in the movie will return in Doomsday?
Oh yeah.
Can we make a shirt that says Archie will return in Doomsday? Just
Dude.
start making random properties. But just to level set, I want to give you an idea of who Doctor Doom is in case you don't know. And this won't be a long backstory. I'm not a comic book
Wait.
expert by any means.
I wanna say who I think Doctor Doom is, and then you can tell me how wrong I am. So
Okay.
Doctor Doom is the doctor dude who goes and studies on the mountain with some monks for a really long time, and then somehow gains the ability to control time, metal, and everything. How'd I do?
I think you're thinking of Doctor Strange.
That could be Doctor Strange.
So Doctor Doom is one of the most popular Marvel villains because he is a master of both technology and magic. He's very
Okay.
well trained, like Doctor Strange. He's got
I
the
was on the
Iron
right
Man. He's got
track.
tech like Iron Man. Yeah, he's very. He's not just a mustache twirling villain. He believes that he is doing the right thing, and the only way that he can help the world is by basically controlling it. He thinks that he knows better than everyone else. He's very arrogant, and he thinks that he can save the world by being in control of them. And if he's making the rules, everything is better. That's
How
kind
did
of his
he
belief.
how did he
And if
get
and
his powers though?
so it's a very long story, but basically Doctor Doom, when he was little, his mother, he was born in like a third world country, and his country was being invaded by bad people. His mother made a deal with the devil essentially to
Mhm.
get some sort of power to get rid of these invaders. And in that deal, she ended up losing her soul, and now she's confined to the underworld forever. So Doctor Doom had this chip on his shoulder his entire life to get as smart as he could, be as powerful as he could. He was trying to become all powerful because he basically wants to rescue his mother's soul from the hands of, again, essentially the
This
devil.
sounds
So
like a
he is,
very Greek inspired type thing, because isn't that
yeah,
what
in a lot of
happens to
ways it is. Yeah.
Persephone?
We see a lot of inspiration being taken from that, but he's very well learned. He's very well studied. In a lot of the comic book runs, he was the roommate of Reed Richards in college, and the two of them kind of went back and forth onto who was going to be the smartest one.
Wait, Reed Richards. That's wait. That's Fantastic Four, which is DC. Yeah, that's DC though.
It is not. It is Marvel.
The Fantastic Four is Marvel.
Yep.
Oh, thought it was DC.
It's Doctor Doom is actually primarily a Fantastic Four villain. But I gave you all this context mostly for the one note that he believes that he is the world's hero. Like he is acting out of what he believes is the thing to save people. Doctor Doom thinks like he can protect all of humanity if he just gets to make all the decisions. But he's very
He
flawed.
thinks he's doing right.
He's got a cause, he's got motivation, and he thinks he's got the means to make the world better. So this is going to be important for some of
Sure.
these theories that I have for you. So, theory number one, Doom is not the bad guy, at least not till the end of the movie, and maybe not even the primary one. I think that Doctor Doom is not going to be our main antagonist through most of that film. Do you know that this movie used to be the Kang Dynasty? That was the previous iteration of this movie, right? Are you familiar with that?
Uh, no. What do you mean a previous iteration? Like it was previously
So,
named something different, and then through production it changed, and the script changed,
sort
and
of.
stuff like that.
Years ago, the two Marvel movies were announced. That was going to be Marvel Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, and then Marvel Avengers, Secret Wars. So we had these two movies that were going to be sequels to each other. They were announced at the same time. And the first movie was going to be primarily focused on Kang the Conqueror, who was being built up as the multiverse villain. The actor who played him, Jonathan Majors, got
Okay.
into some legal
Okay.
trouble. He had some domestic abuse
Oh.
things going on. He got dropped from the project, and they
Oh.
retooled the movie. So he got cut and they turned it into Doomsday. So this movie was originally going to be Kang Dynasty and it was going to lead into Secret Wars. So we know, like, if you've read the comics, Secret Wars is centralized around Doom. Doom is the guy who's kind of pulling all the puppet strings for Secret Wars, which means that Kang Dynasty was always going to lead up into Secret Wars. That means the end of the movie was going to set up Secret Wars. So when you pivot from Kang Dynasty to Doom now, I don't think that they redid the entire movie from ground up. I mean, obviously the end of the movie is going to be similar, and they would have had to keep some of the story beats to lead up to that ending. You switch some of the story pieces around, you change the characters around. Now you basically have some changes, but it's a pretty similar movie. And we know things that were going to happen in that movie because there was things that came out about the script after they cut that movie. So we know that there was multiple hero teams that were going to be battling against each other and eventually lead up into Secret Wars. We still have that forming now.
Well, okay. I think that you make a lot of good points, but here's my question, right? Is if it was
Mhm.
originally Kang Dynasty, which was a different movie,
Mhm.
and they underwent a rewriting process for legal reasons, I would believe that they would redo the whole thing. And isn't it like a thing that they're bringing back a bunch of characters that previously were not going to be part of it? So, like, it feels like they have rewritten the whole thing.
Again, though, Secret Wars is still happening, and Secret Wars is Doom. Like, no matter how you look at it, Doom, I believe, was always going to be in the picture for Secret Wars. Secret Wars is a story where all these heroes from other places all come into one battle world and they fight each other to figure out which get to stay and which get eliminated to basically retcon the entire universe. So
Uh-huh.
you still have that story is the same. The next story is still that story. That's a very iconic story from the comic books. The Kang Dynasty was going to set the groundwork to move into that story, which means that even if you're retooling it, if you're still doing that story, you still need the beats that set up the framework for Secret Wars. The original Kang Dynasty, after it got cut, there was leaks about how it was going to be multiple Kang variants. Different teams of Avengers were going to fight the independent Kang variants until they came together in one big battle against a primary Kang. Now, that primary Kang, I think we can safely say is going to be some different threat that they all come together. But I think we're still going to have these little battles with their groupings where they're going to
What is a
beef with one
Kang?
another.
What
Kang
is a
is the name
Kang?
of that's the name of the character. His name is Kang the Conqueror. He is a
Okay, so there's
manipulator
one
of
Kang.
time. Kang is like infinite because this is the multiverse saga. So
What does that
Kang is
mean?
an infinite. Basically, there is an unlimited amount of universes, and in each universe, there is a variant of a person. So right now, let's say we're living in universe one. You are Morgan number
Oh,
one.
but
Now
there's an
there's a
infinite
universe
number of
number two.
yeah, but that's
Yes,
true for
of most
everybody.
people. Most people. There are a couple characters that there's only one of. Like there's a character named America Chavez. Her whole deal is she's the only one in the entire multiverse and she can walk around them freely. But for the most part, yes,
Yeah.
there's infinite amount of every character.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Mhm.
So, continue with your theory then. So there's one of these Kangs, one of these infinite Kangs who
Right. So there was going to be one primary king, and then leading up to that battle with the primary king, there was going to be lots of other kings, several other kings that the teams of Avengers would have to battle until they
uh-huh.
got to the point where they were down to the main one. So we already have, based on the movies leading up to this and have continued since the retooling, where they are setting up factions of heroes. We have the Thunderbolts, who were the new Avengers now. There are Sam Wilson's Avengers. We know
Mhm.
that we have the X-Men coming because we saw them in a movie and they've been in the trailer promos. We have the Fantastic Four. So we have
Mhm.
different groups of people that are still set up in the same structure. So instead of
Right.
them fighting different kings, they're going to be fighting something else. I propose that they have replaced the kings with different Doom variants, but instead of us just fighting little bad guys to lead up to the primary, I think we're actually going to have the primary Doom on one of our heroes' teams as a good guy. And we won't know until the end of the movie that he's actually pulling the puppet strings for something more nefarious all along.
Okay, well, but if he was pulling the puppet strings for something nefarious, that would still make him the bad guy. He's just pretending to be on the good guys' side.
Yes, but I think what so everybody assumes you didn't see the Fantastic Four movie, but at the end of the movie, the post credits scene, Doctor Doom makes an appearance. You see him from behind, and I
Uh,
think everybody is thinking, this is it. We're going to get this like the beginning of the showdown, and everybody is going to launch the events that happen where it's all going up against Doom. I actually think
uh,
that we're going to see something very different. I think we're going to see Doom launch the events by saying, hey, look, there's a threat coming, and we need to band together. We need to go to another universe. We need to gather heroes up to stop a big threat because the universe is falling apart. So instead of him saying, I am tearing the universe apart and everyone trying to stop him, he's actually trying to get everybody to stop the universe from falling apart alongside of him.
This sounds like something that would be in line with his character, because if he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to work towards the betterment of humankind, then the destruction of the universe is not going to be in line with that particular goal. However, I do also think from a writing perspective that if you tease a villain in that way, you can't just be like, "Oh, by the way, he's not the bad guy."
We haven't
So,
teased him in what way? When you see him in the post credit scene? Because all you do is you just see him talking to Sue Storm's son. She walks in and you see him from behind. He
uh,
has taken his mask off, but you don't see his face. You just see him from behind his hood. He's holding his mask in his hand. He's talking to the child, and the child is reaching up to like
so
touch his
what if it's
face.
not Doom at all? Ah.
A lot of people speculate that it is the son Franklin Richards fixing Doom's face because Doom in the comic books has a very scarred face. He's
Yeah.
very
That's why he wears the
you know,
mask.
that's why he wears the mask. Everyone seems to think that the movie is going to be Doctor Doom trying to steal the children of the heroes, starting with Franklin Richards. But that's why we got a Captain America
Okay.
teaser that he's holding a son. We've seen some of these other heroes have small children, and he thinks he's trying to collect these kids to power himself to become the big bad emperor. I think we're going to get a couple different teams of heroes, and there's going to be some interfighting between them. I think that we're going to see Doom arrive with the Fantastic Four. At the end of the Thunderbolts movie, we see that there's a Fantastic Four ship that is coming into our universe, and the
Okay.
Thunderbolts are aware of them. I
Is
think we're
that the
actually going to
most
see.
is that the most recent, like that's the movie just prior to Doomsday? Like that was the most recent movie release was
Uh, no,
Thunderbolts?
Fantastic Four was more recent.
Oh, okay. Is that the most recent one then, the Fantastic
There
Four
will
movie?
also be a Spider-Man movie that happens between now and then before
Oh, that's right. That's coming out this
Doomsday.
summer, right?
Yes,
Guys, who wants to place their bets on whether or not Morgan can get caught up before the Spider-Man movie drop?
I will take the under.
Damn, now I've got a
or the
reason
over,
to.
whichever one means that it's not going to happen. I don't know.
Now I have a reason. Guys, hold on. Jason has just thrown the gauntlet. When specifically does the Spider-Man movie come out? I need to look this up.
July, I think.
Spider-Man brand, what is it? The brand new day?
Brand new day. Yeah.
Spider-Man brand new day release date. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is scheduled to release July 31st. So I have just about 4 months to get caught up. I have 4 months to do a 1 year task.
Godspeed,
Okay.
Morgan. Godspeed.
Hey man, I will be the one who's laughing his popcorn to the theater when it happens.
Your popcorn butter.
My
you don't
popcorn,
eat the popcorn
butter.
Your popcorn butter.
And I will be attending the very themed Spider-Man release of Spider-Man Brand New Day.
All right. I'm going to run the quick gauntlet of these theories in my evidence real quick.
Here we go. Hit me.
I think the end credits scene to Fantastic Four was a red herring because Dr. Doom does not seem to bother Franklin Richards at all. I think that he is actually going to be there to ask Sue Storm for her help. We saw in that movie he was missing from the UN nations meeting for Latveria, who he's the ruler of. I think he's going to ask them for help, tell them, hey, the world is ending. We need to go to another universe to stop this and save everybody. And they're going to be together in the ship that lands in the Thunderbolts film. But I think before that happens, the ship is going to split. It's going to break up in the atmosphere, and part of it is going to land in Wakanda, which is how we get the Thing in Wakanda meeting Shuri and whatever that guy's name that is the king of Wakanda. Now I forget his name. The gorilla guy. Are you with me so far?
So far, I'm with you. I call bogus on the Doctor Doom thing, but maybe the ship in the Wakanda place could happen.
I think it's going to happen. So I think we're going to have different groups of people, and we're going to have inner fighting. So I think we're going to see different Doom variants with different groups, and they're going to fight each other because they're going to be like, hey, my world's ending. I got to stop you from destroying us or whatever. So I think we're going to get half the Fantastic Four with Doom, who are going to pair up with the Thunderbolts. I think we're going to get I'm going to guess Sue and Reed together with the Thunderbolts. And I think we know that the Thing lands in Wakanda because that's in the trailer. And I don't know who will be with them. I guess Johnny will be with them. But I think we're going to get the Thunderbolts with half of the Fantastic Four. The other half will end up with the Wakandans and Namor, because we saw him too. I think we're going to see the X-Men as their own group, but with Monica Rambeau, because we know she ended up there after the end of the Marvels. And I think we're going to get another group that's going to be the New Avengers. And all of these groups kind of intertwine some way. So there's going to be some butting of heads, but ultimately a leaf or like a branch. This way they can work together and help out and come back together. So this way, eventually, Doom is going to get them to work together against a common threat. And are you ready for this, Morgan? You're not going to know what this is, but Jason, it's a total big deal. I think that the big ending bad guy that Doom is going to work everybody towards is going to be none other than the Maker. And you don't know who that is, but it is a big deal. And I think he's going to be played by Miles Teller. Boom.
I don't know who Miles Teller is. Is that a character in universe or an actor?
No, he's an actor. He's an actor. He was the guy that was in Whiplash. Did you see the movie Whiplash?
Yeah.
Miles Teller's
the drummer kid, right?
Yes. He is a great actor. He was in that terrible Fan Four Stick movie where he played Reed Richards. That movie sucks so bad. And it's the one property that they haven't intertwined into the multiverse saga yet. So what better way to do that than to pull that Reed to become the Maker, who is an evil Reed Richards variant, one that uses technology to construct multiverse shenanigans and bring the worlds apart. I think that Shang-Chi's rings and the bangles of Miss Marvel, they're actually going to be his technology. And when we saw the beacon at the end of whatever movie that was, Shang-Chi, I think that they were calling him. and he's going to be the big bad. And when they finally defeat him, that's when Doom's going to go, great, now I can ascend my throne to take over everything and make sure we are all safe and better. And it will bring us full circle to when Robert Downey Jr. says, new mask, same task, because he, just like Doom and just like Iron Man, want to put a suit of armor around the world. Perfect bow.
Interesting. I you know what? I may get on board with this once I get caught up because I don't know who this maker dude is, but if there's a legitimate way where Doom isn't the bad guy and it's still satisfying, if this is the avenue for that, I think that that would be a very good twist. I don't know that it will happen. I will get caught up and levy my opinion in July.
This is why people like Doom so much, because he has been like he's a very complicated character, and he is a bad guy, but he doesn't operate for the sake of being bad like a traditional comic book villain.
He sounds
He
like a
is
Batman
trying to
kind
do
of
good.
character. Yeah, he sounds like a Batman kind of character where he's like a dark hero.
Yeah, imagine if Batman was also full of himself and thought he was just the greatest human being of all time. That's kind of
Isn't
what Doom is.
isn't that Batman's thing a little bit though?
No, Batman is humble. I mean, like he sacrifices his public persona as Bruce Wayne in order to keep his secret, because he sacrifices his self for the good of the city. He's totally the opposite. He's a very humble character.
No, I thought he
Doom,
did that. I
not so
thought he
much.
did that in order to have because doesn't he use his Bruce Wayne persona to fund his vigilante efforts? So I thought he did that in order to keep the two separate. And like I guess it could be a humility thing, but he's also like pretty confident that he can handle any problem. Like isn't that part of his whole
He's very good
shtick?
at what he does. Yes, and he's confident as like, in his combat skills and that sort of thing. But he doesn't think that his way is the best way. He's much better at um like I said, he'll sacrifice himself for the city. He throws his own reputation under the bus. Like he acts like a doofus idiot playboy in public. This way nobody associates him with the possibility of being Batman, because they're like, well, he's a moron. He's like just a rich doofus. Like that guy couldn't be Batman, because Batman
Yeah, I thought that was all in
knows
an
what he's doing and
effort.
he's smart.
Yeah, I thought that was all in an effort to not be discovered as Batman, not as like some self-flagellating kind of thing. But maybe
I
I'm
mean, they're
misunderstanding Batman's character.
yeah, I mean, even if that were the case, which I don't think that it is, but even if that were the case, that still takes away from the fact that Doom has no problem telling everybody he's the greatest.
Okay.
He doesn't want to take criticism. Yeah, him and Reed bump heads all the time, because he resents Reed because when they were in college together, they did their project. Reed told him like something was not right about his project. That's what blew up and scarred his face. And he resents Reed for it. It wasn't because Reed did the problem. It was he pointed it out. And for some reason, he blames that on Reed because he doesn't have any kind of humility to say, oh, maybe I made a mistake. He's
Right.
very arrogant. He's very
Sounds like he has sort of like a ego complex a little bit.
he does, yeah.
A
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
he's very narcissistic. That's why he won't let anybody see him with the mask
A
off,
little bit of
because
megalomania.
for sure. Yeah. So
Interesting.
I think Doomsday
I
is going to be a fun ride. I think like pulling all this stuff together and then ending this multiverse thing where everything is now in one place. We go into Secret Wars. It cuts, it figures out what our future is from here, and then we can be done with variants and all this other stuff. I think it's going to be great.
I don't know that if that is Doom's personality, I don't know that it makes sense for him to team up with the good guys. It's an interesting theory, Jason. I wonder what will happen.
We'll see. We'll have to put this in our
We definitely
conspiracy
will.
corner playlist there. Yeah.
Tune in for part 2 when Morgan is caught up in July and Morgan weighs in with his conspiracy theories.
Do you want to play some crispy trivia?
Oh yeah, crispy trivia.
Crispy Trivia.
All right, so for today's Crispy Trivia, we have a different format. It's going to be a really quick hit. So it's similar to Family Feud like how we did last time, but if you recall, at the end of Family Feud, they typically do the fast money portion.
I
So
don't
that's what
recall.
we're going to do today.
It's all a
right.
haze.
Then as a reminder, what happens is I'm going to put 25 seconds on the clock. So you don't get a lot of time to work with here. I'm going to throw 5 questions at you. You just name what you think is the answer. There's multiple right answers, but based on their individual popularity, you'll be awarded points. So if 100 people were surveyed, you give an answer and it's the most popular one, you might get 50 points. If it was the least popular, you might get 2 points. Your goal is to try to hit 100 total points amongst all 5 answers. So you got to average at least 20 points per answer.
Oh no, this is gonna be so bad, guys. This is asking how like typical are you like wired? Like how do you think like other people?
This is what do you think other people would say? Basically that's what you're going for here.
Yeah, which okay.
You got this. I think
25 seconds to figure out what other people think. I don't know.
Yep. All right. Are you ready?
No.
On your mark, get set. And the timer will start at the end of my first question here. So, question number 1.
At least I get to hear the question.
Name a superhero that has wielded Thor's hammer Mjolnir.
Thor.
Question number 2. Name a villain who has fought Spider-Man in the movies.
Dr. Octopus.
Question 3. Name something you'd find in Tony Stark's Iron Man suit.
Tony Stark?
Name a planet or a realm from the Marvel Universe.
A planet or a realm. Wakanda.
And that is time.
Did I do 5? Was that 5?
You got to 4 of them. You know what? I'll give you the last one as a freebie. Name a character who has been a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Star-Lord.
All right. Okay. So let's see how you did.
I feel like I answered those pretty fast.
You did. You got stuck on 4 a little bit. I think 4 threw you off. But
name a realm.
Let's see how you did.
A realm in the multiverse. I should have just said Earth.
Or I think they. Yeah. Or do they call it Midgard? I should know. Maybe they call it Midgard in the Marvel Universe. But anyway. So for question number 1, the question was, name a superhero who has wielded Thor's magic hammer, Mjolnir. You answered Thor.
Which is right.
Surprisingly, was not on the board.
But it is right.
It is right. He has wielded it. The number 1 answer was Captain America.
Okay, sure. See, this is what I mean. Okay, whatever.
Question number 2 was, name a villain who has fought Spider-Man in the movies. Your answer was Dr. Octopus.
Which is true.
The number 2 answer with 25 points.
Are you kidding me?
The
number 2
answer? Number 1 was Green Goblin.
Oh, that's fair, actually.
Number 3. Number 3 question was, name something you'd find in Tony Stark's Iron Man suit. I thought was a very good answer of Tony Stark. I applaud you for that answer, actually. Unfortunately, nobody in the survey answered it. Number 1 answer was the arc reactor.
Who would answer that?
It's a very logical answer. It makes perfect sense. Number 4, name a planet or realm from the Marvel Universe. What'd you end up going with? Earth?
I said Wakanda.
Oh, you said Wakanda. Okay. Wakanda was the number 2 answer with 25 points.
Okay.
Number 1 was Asgard.
Asgard. Okay, fair.
And then question number 5, name a character who has been a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Your answer was Star-Lord, which was the number 1 answer with 40 points.
Hey, how about that? How'd I do? How many points did I get?
All right,
12.
so you got 40, 65, nothing there, 65, so then you're 90,
No, I just
You
missed
ended
it.
at 90 points.
Dang it.
Decent
It was the
showing,
Tony's.
though. Decent
It was
showing.
it was the Tony Stark question. What?
I like the answer. I'm going to give you the 10 points for that answer because I think it was great. So you got there as far as I'm concerned.
Out of idle curiosity, what were the other possible answers for that? Because you said arc reactor was number one.
Yes. So arc reactor was number 1. Number 2 was the repulsors. Number 3 was Jarvis. Number
Okay.
4 was missiles. Number 5 was a heads up display. Number 6 was armor plating. And the last one was thrusters.
Okay. I feel like the question in the armor is somewhat misleading because all of those things are components of the armor and not necessarily in it, but tomato,
I
tomato,
mean,
I guess.
matter of semantics, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because if you're going to literally talk about in the armor, then Tony Stark is the only answer.
He's the only entity
But
in it.
this is the thing about questions that have anything to do with the Family Feud is that they could be totally wrong. It just matters what people answer. So
Right,
if for
exactly.
some reason you survey 100 people, people ask you, "Hey, what's in a BLT sandwich?" and 90 people say hamburger, it's on the board even though it doesn't make sense and it's not
Right.
accurate.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to work with what you think the masses would think.
Which, if history shows, I am not great at.
That was fun though. I thought it was. I thought you put up a good showing.
I honestly, I kind of want to do that again. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, maybe we'll do another one next week. We'll see.
We'll see. Oh no, next week is you figuring out what movie I'm talking about from a very vague description.
Then in 2 weeks we could try it. We'll try it again eventually. I mean, there's only so many game shows that I can rip off for this crispy trivia thing. At some point, we're gonna have to recycle, so it'll come up again, I'm sure.
Hey man, I think that we just find one that we like, and then we'll just hey, which one do you guys like? Let us know, and we will just keep doing that.
Or if there's, if honestly, I mean, I think it's fun to switch them up. That's why I've been trying to do different ones every week. But if there is one that people think would be an interesting way to see you squirm at movie trivia, I'd be down on trying to figure out how to make it happen. I've been trying to figure out how to do Price is Right, and I've not gotten the idea yet on how I would do that. But I think that would be exciting.
Isn't the Price is Right like you spin a thing and then I guess what the price is on that thing? How would you do that with a movie?
There's a lot of games within there. I was toying with this idea once, and I don't know that we'd be able to make it happen, so I'll just tell you. But like if we had memorabilia, which you had to guess what the price tag was for, like if people, you had to go like higher or lower. Like if I said, the shield from Captain America was bought at auction, do you think it went for more or less than 150,000? And you know what I mean? Doing something like that.
Well, considering it's made out of pure vibranium, it probably went for more than that.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with the current price of vibranium, but
the current like trade value of vibranium.
Bitcoin's been crashing. Maybe vibranium has too. I don't know.
The strongest material on planet Earth? Doubtful.
All right. Well, follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all the podcast platforms. We're on all of them. And
just don't follow me in real life.
Or do. Just quietly and politely.
From a distance.
And every once in a while yell,
of 100
watch a movie. All right. I think on that note, that's a cut on this week's episode.
Hold on. Wait, what?
What am I doing?
That's a wrap.
Dude, like I wrote this sign off, and for some reason I can't remember it. Every week I screw it up. We've been doing this for how many weeks now? I can never.
It's because you're getting old, Jason. It's okay. It's old people fatigue.
Dude, I have been old. There is no kidding. I've been old for a while now, unfortunately.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on this week's Backstage Banter. Until next time, keep the reel rolling. And we'll catch you in the next scene.
That's a cut.